Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and we got a fun one for you today. I met somebody, I think it was at the Millie Weaver / Alex Jones takeover event during the December rally in DC. And actually, prior to meeting him, Ford Fisher had mentioned him without me knowing who he was. He's like, yeah, I always see the guy who has the fake mic on there, and it's like a whipping spoon. I'm not sure what the technical term, but I'm sure we'll find out what the technical term for this is, how he got started. And I was like, I don't know what that is. What are you talking about? And then lo and behold, a few hours later, I meet the guy. Now, I didn't see him during January, when we got the infamous Capitol footage. So it's going to be fun just to kind of go over what he's been up to, how he got started, and so much more. So before we go to him, I want to let everybody know about his website, fakemikerealnews.com. You can also follow him at Fake Mike Real News on Twitter. And of course, he's got a YouTube channel, although, like many of us, that is a secondary channel, as he too has felt the wrath of the Technopoly gods. So without further ado, here he is, Fake Mike Real News. Brother, how are you? It's been a while. It's now been, several months. And I guess before we get going, what got you into this line of work, and why the whipping spoon?
Well, the short story is I had a weird series of events happen to me. And, even back in 2002, I've kind of believed the mainstream story of stuff. And that's when I slowly went down the rabbit hole. And honestly, thank you so much for allowing me on. I was begging you for an interview, and I didn't realize I was going to be here. So you were a major catalyst in waking me up. Your films were essential because they provide factual, non-debatable information that's just in everybody's face. You completely changed a generation of people. Esquire magazine, still in Inside Edition, are talking trash about you, saying that you created all the fake news that's ever happened. And honestly, so you and many others, and very rarely do I get nervous to do an interview. I was a little nervous when I saw All Gas, No Breaks in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. That's like a comedy channel, because I've been doing this for many years, and you've helped inspire me to do this. So this is a big honor. I came up to you in D.C. I was like, oh, Mr. Burmis? Because you're amazing, man. Like I told my friend, I'm like, this is awesome. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. So I appreciate this.
Well, first of all, let me say this. I appreciate the fact that any of my work whatsoever has gotten out there to the point where someone like you has taken action. And by the way, trying to have some humor about it, because we all know I think I'm fucking hilarious, right? Like as dark as this shit gets, I try to keep some kind of humor about it, whether it's dark humor or not. And we talk about some very, very serious subjects. Now, on the flip side of that, we are dealing with almost a cartoon world. Everybody calls it clown world now, but if you were listening to me a decade plus ago, I was calling it cartoon world then, because everything was so over the top. And now it's accelerated to a point where almost anything can be said by an authoritative source, and you can no longer challenge that narrative, that idea, that fact without being banned on social media, whether it be the Technopoly of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google. Now people are getting banned on PayPal. We've seen that coming for a long time. Tell people when you got started and how long it took, and whether or not it was an accelerated process for YouTube to ban your channel.
Yeah, it was kind of a drawn out process. And about the whisk, I guess I'll get into that briefly too. But it was also, everything was kind of an evolution, because at first you have to go and you have to learn your information. And then over the years, you realize rhetoric and, it's not, unfortunately, most people make decisions, based on emotion rather than logic and facts. So you try different ways to convey the information to people. And so the whisk story was, I used to go up, and on my earlier videos, in my earlier activism, I used to put on a really cheap suit, and I'm not the world's richest guy, so I have this microphone. It was a real microphone, not this, but it was actual real microphone at the time, but it wasn't plugged into anything. And then I've been doing my videos, and nobody was really paying attention, at least on YouTube. I had a few videos that were okay on Facebook that would get a few thousand views, or sometimes hit 100,000 views. But my YouTube channel is very, very small. And so then I got on the channel Auditing America. Shout outs to Auditing America. And he's got 185,000 subscribers. He's got 50 million views on YouTube. So immediately people recognized that the microphone was fake. But in my mind, I was like, all right, if I go up with the suit and a microphone, basically, based on your information and then seeing people like Luke Rukowski go and confront these people, I figured, hey, I'm going to go start confronting my local people. And then I started confronting, Joe Biden a few times, and the Clintons and Kamala Harris and stuff like that. Before COVID, it was actually easier than you think to do this, And
let me stop you there, because I think that's important for people to understand. If you were watching the days of We Are Change and Luke Rudowski, I ended up working for We Are Change for a while. There was that moment, and it's funny to me because it was before the moment of everybody having one of these magic boxes, right?
Yeah.
There was that moment where not only Luke, but other people had the handy cams, and they were going to events, and that's how they were confronting people. And it wasn't on a live stream, and it would be edited down, and you'd get your 3 to 5 minute video fix with about 30 seconds of the confrontation. But it did happen. And you saw people like Zbigniew Brzezinski getting hit up, Robert Gibbs getting hit up. Even aside from Luke, with the Student Scholars for 9/11 Truth, shout out to Martell and Jackman. They got Barack Obama. They got Ron Paul. I mean, all these things were happening. And, like you said in the very beginning, the mainstream has kind of tried to push that to the side of history and then try to demonize things like loose change as the beginning of QAnon. Activism was so much more easy in the last, 2 years plus ago, before all the madness really started to go, because of this. And instead, people wanted to trigger each other with pussy hats and garbage instead of going after the true elites, which you continue to do, and their minions, and do it with style. So first of all, I want to commend you on that. But wouldn't you agree that 10 plus years ago, people were way more active and getting this stuff on the internet when it was so much harder?
Yeah, people, don't realize, even now that COVID is lessening, how easy it is to scan your local area, especially if you live in the Northeast, or if you live anywhere near a populated region, to just go and look at all the events and just show up there. Go to Joe Biden's official website. Everybody, they got the list of events. Obviously, COVID's affecting that. But yeah, I feel like in the age of Trump kind of really fractured things as well, too. You've seen that kind of divide the truth movement a little bit, or a lot, really. And I think that a lot of this, people don't realize how easy it is to do. And I think, to your point, what you're saying, as far as, we're all divided with the left and the right now, people don't realize that the power that they have. And, talking about the Capitol, that was a moment, I thought, where we could have actually had some of the Antifa, the Black Lives Matter people, actually walk in solidarity with the right-wing people. But you don't see that happening. And now, again, we have Biden and we have migrants at record numbers. We have him colluding with Russia on the pipeline, and all the other racism continues. But it's Biden, so everybody's back to sleep. So,
but it's not even like it's Biden. Like, even people understand that he's a placeholder for somebody that couldn't get over 1% approval in the Democratic primaries during their debates. Everybody understands that that's going to be at least the face of the administration. Okay. At the same time, you have an acceleration of an agenda that is obviously not, in my opinion, even pro-human, right? You had the defund the police agenda. You got robot cops in New York, right? You got, we want to get out of Syria, Afghanistan. No, we're going to start drone bombing again. Like, right out of the gates. And then there's zero accountability for it. And it's kind of in your face. There's obviously certain things we can't talk about on YouTube. But what I would like to talk to you about is how we met up in December, right? There was police everywhere. Riot police gearing up before sundown, almost on every street. And then when I was there in January, the vibe was completely different, and you didn't see nearly the police force. Why don't you speak to that? I mean, I didn't imagine that, did I?
No, absolutely not. And actually, I was there 2 weeks prior to the December event. In late November, early December, there was another Proud Boys event, and the police presence was much more heavy at that time. I do find it very interesting, that whole Capitol situation, because there's so many different things at play. Everybody's seen the videos of police letting people in, people backing down. You also have the videos, and it's really a turning point too, because the first time I went to DC, well, not the first time, but the first time in recent history going to DC, you saw the Proud Boys thanking the police, saying, "Oh, we love the police," this and that. But then the next two times, you saw them burning Blue Lives Matter flags. You saw them literally assaulting police. There was a big shift there as far as the Proud Boys were concerned. And I also thought that would be something that the left could possibly unite on, because I am all for defunding the police. I'm not for robotic police to replace them whatsoever. I'm for abolishing the police, abolishing ICE, abolishing the federal government, the Fed, the CIA, everybody. But I definitely don't want to replace them with what they're going to try to do with these robot police that they literally already have rolling out. And it's a very scary scenario that we're going into. And that's, again, what I like about your channel and what you've been doing, is because you're always ahead of time. I mean, we're talking about things like the Capitol riot, and the FBI spending so much time on this, or digging up gold in Pennsylvania, but they don't know about Les Wexner. They're not going to get Prince Andrew extradited. They're not going to do any of that stuff. And it's really sad. And the one point I want to make about the Capitol, which is very important, even before that, the Capitol was shut down. I tried to go in just separately. The lawmakers are still there. They're still getting trillions of our dollars, right? We're still in all these illegal wars. Even before COVID, they pretty much destroyed the Bill of Rights. And now in COVID, they're taking our money while destroying our Bill of Rights. It's something they took a sacred oath before God and their countrymen to. They're sitting there destroying that, and we're not allowed in a public building. I mean, back in Abraham Lincoln's time, the White House, you could go just walk up in there and talk with them. The Capitol building should be the public building. I'm all for storming the Capitol, but peacefully. I don't believe in breaking windows. I don't believe in smashing stuff like that. But we, the people, left and right, should have stormed the Capitol a long time ago, over the NSA spying, over the illegal wars, over everything, over all of the trillions in debt. And I mean, when is enough enough? And now we're focusing on this and QAnon. Meanwhile, they're gene editing, CRISPR. We've got AI, running amok, and this whole world. And it's so crazy, because even me myself have become somewhat complacent in this COVID world. And it's a year ago, and I'm like, this is not going to be 2 days. I guarantee you, mark my words, they're going to try to pull a fast one. Boom, we're never going back. There's going to be a new 9/11. And then a couple weeks later, they come out with the new normal. And I was really, really mad. I felt claustrophobic during the whole thing. I always thought, well, at least, I've done some activism. Maybe if I have kids, I'll go to another country. No, well, there's not another country to go to anymore. And this is the point that you've been warning about. It's literally here in front of people's eyes. We can't get them even to wake up to that. And meanwhile, they're gene editing babies, and the largest pedophile ring in United States history. All of those people are still running wild on their yachts and hanging out.
Yeah, so let's talk about a few points there, right? First of all, one of the things that I've talked about for a very long time, and now you're starting to see, is that, China isn't really the enemy of these people. It's the beta test. It's where they've had the most control. And this is why the social credit score and the track trace database and the authoritarianism is there. And now everything, in their own homes, like literally CCTV cameras in your own homes. They say within the next 18 months, they will have every physical region in China, no matter how obscure or isolated, under 24/7 track trace database surveillance. Now, at the same time, they're hyping up this China versus U.S. But unfortunately, China is the model. And the people that work on both sides, whether it's Google, which is really just another arm of the NSA, DARPA, works with NASA on artificial intelligence and quantum computing. Nobody sees a problem with that. Has the largest search engine in the world, the number one video platform in the world, the second largest search engine in the world, which is that video platform, the largest operating system in the world, which is Android OS on more devices than anything else. Chrome, the largest search engine, and rivaling in the next largest operating system on Chromebooks and other devices. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But that's not a monopoly, Jason. They're a private business, and you can't sue them. You can't sue them when they say, for instance, I just got back on YouTube. I got a strike for my Alex Jones interview retroactively. It's weird when you're not talking to Alex Jones about whiskey and interdimensional clockwork elves, you get a strike. You see how that works? When you make him look sane, you get a strike, right? But if you talk about those things, like,
well, hear this.
Let's hear it.
So I gotta. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
But it's interesting too because I have 2 videos where, because I love Alex Jones. He helped wake me up. He's kind of strayed away from some things that I like, but he's still laid the groundwork for a lot of stuff. So I at the Pittsburgh Trump event, I was there, and I popped in with Owen Schroyer, and I was there for a segment kind of debating Alex. And then I saw Alex at the 2A rally in Richmond, and I kind of confronted him about him still supporting Trump after, I named up all of his associations with Epstein, the Skull and Bones, and all that stuff. And my wife's a little tired right now. We're going to go get back some bone broth, and we'll see you in a bit. So those are fine. Those are fine. You can confront Alex Jones and call him out. It's a lot of it has to do, in my opinion, because I've learned this really well the hard way, having my Facebook ban, my YouTube ban, all that. It's a lot of it has to do with the naming of your videos. If you put confronts Alex Jones, it will change the thing. If you say sit down, have a conversation, but if you the name is very key with whatever you put there. And as far as some of the YouTube things that have gone on, I just put up a new backup channel because my original thing was Demand the Truth, and the whole fake Mike Real News thing came about when people were like, obviously that's fake, you know what I'm saying? So one of the subscribers was like, Real News, fake Mike, we inverted it. And then I lost my mic, so I just picked this up to represent transparency, represents that I'm not owned by mega corporations, didn't lie about Epstein, weapons of mass destructions, all that. But another thing is I just put up a YouTube channel, and before you used to have a few thousand subs for them to take some of your stuff down. Me, Memory Hold, and Titus Frost did a video on, because they all got banned. Mm-hmm. And then so we did a video on my channel. I debuted it on Fake Mike Real News as a live stream so more people would watch it. And then I immediately took it down and put it on my Demand the Truth channel because I really just say whatever there. Yeah. Because what I do now is I'll have one channel that I don't say too much spicy stuff, because the way YouTube is now, you're not going to reach new people if there's certain things that you're saying, if there's certain catchwords. I wouldn't use the P word when referring to diddlers, There's certain things that I definitely don't talk about what Bill Gates want to give you in a negative way, because your channel will be taken down. So maybe you only had like 300 views, but they went and they just took that Memory Hold Titus Frost video down from my backup channel. It has less than 500 subscribers. And that's what they did to my channel. It was a long process where first they demonetized my channel. And they said, your stuff is harmful to viewers. Although I always, always, always say I'm all about nonviolence. And even if I say we're going to fight back, I always say, when I'm saying fight, guys, I'm always about nonviolence. So I've never promoted harm or violence ever. Mm-hmm. So for them to say that, and the videos that were taken down were videos like me laying out all the connections with Trump and Biden to the pedo-gate characters, or calling out Bill Gates, or showing up at Bill Gates' house. Those were the videos. And then those videos, those are the other videos that they take down. So I have one channel where I kind of am a little more consumer friendly, so I'm able to reach people. Then I sell some, and I drop some hints in there. and I say a lot of truth in there. But then for the real stuff, I go to Demand the Truth, and I also do co-host a show on RBN at on nights, which I'd love to have you on.
Sure.
Anytime you want to do that, I co-host a show there where we just talk about whatever. So I'm trying to be pragmatic without selling my soul here. You know, that's the rundown there.
Well, I mean, look, now that I got in rapid succession, these warnings, then strikes, right? 2 of them happen to be me playing the Dr. Corey ivermectin clip in the halls of the Senate. Okay, so I got hit for that, and I had done a second video about it. Yeah, that was 2. And then the Jones. And I appealed the first time with ivermectin, and they're like, nope, medical misinformation doesn't matter. That, I have the clinicaltrials.gov right here. Not at all. Like, you can read the study that he talks about. Doesn't matter that, it's in the Wall Street Journal. YouTube cancels the Senate. Been talking to the Wall Street Journal. Who knows how far that's going to go. No. It's medical misinformation, and you're a terrible person for having it on. How dare you? So now I've got to tiptoe through YouTube. Thank God for platforms like Rockfin. And by the way, I want to thank the viewers over at Rockfin and Lauren Taylor and, of course, Jaime, part of Rockfin. After this, I'm actually going to be on a super secret Rockfin video meeting. But that's why I like this platform, because they're growing with free speech. You need to get on that, my man, especially if he's watching this. There's no reason why you shouldn't be on Rockfin. I'm going to do a DM introduction, because this is a place so far that has been all about free speech, all about a model that you can still make a living, and all about a model that if you want to give your stuff away for free, you can do that too, which is what we're doing here, especially under the gun. Now, you talked about a plethora of issues aside from the Capitol and what's going on right now. Since we only got about 10 minutes left, what do you think are some of the most pressing issues right now during COVID-19 84 that need people's immediate attention and immediate action, and how do people take that action?
Well, I think the first thing would be, I'm a voluntarist myself, but I mean, this document right here is the law of the land. It's why we're so many $1 trillion in debt. That's why we pay these fools all this money. And I mean, I couldn't do it in 10 minutes, but you have to go ahead and look through it here. But if you look through each one of the Bill of Rights here, they're all gone. They're literally all gone. Most of them were already gone before COVID-19 84. And the Declaration of Independence says when governments are formed to secure our liberties with our consent. The only reason that government is created is to secure our liberties. And then when a government becomes detrimental to those ends, it is our duty to abolish or alter that government. So it's right here, it's in black and white. Every public official, to a cop up to Biden and everybody in between, they swear an oath to that. Nobody, and most of them, they don't even know what the hell it is. So it's all really basically what you're doing. Everybody has to do it in their own way. If you want to get in front of a camera, cool. If you don't, there's plenty of ways to do videos. You don't even need to use your voice. You can make memes, you can sing, you can finger paint. There's so many things that you can do. Comedy, I think, is one of the best ways. I honestly think that I've been trying to tell people facts for like 15, 16 years, and I'm really trying to study rhetoric now. I'm trying to study, hey, gesticulate more, use more open palms, try to have humor, move around a little bit more, because we gotta catch as many people as you can. And Jason, thanks to your work, like so many more people now, like literally you woke up millions, at least 1 million people, millions of people. You've done that. So people and people don't know, like same thing, like with Titus Frost, someone was just on a overpass with the sign that said rethink 9/11. He was just a normie at the time. So what does that even mean? He went home, Googled it. Then he created a YouTube channel. He had almost 50,000 subscribers, heavily banned. They put the brake on him at 40K subscribers.
Yeah.
But his videos reached millions of people, and he changed the world.
Yeah.
So, and I can go on for hours about people that I know personally who have done the same thing. So it's just getting the word out there until we can get the critical mass. And once that happens, people have empathy. When there's an earthquake in Haiti or a hurricane in Houston, people are on their speedboats. People are giving money to the Clintons and the Bushes hand over fist. So people do have empathy. They just need to be shown what's going on, the problem, in order to have empathy, in order to take action. It's our job. It's the listener's job to go out, support Rockfin, support you. This guy's literally, I know Jason's obviously a very smart dude. He's got a college degree. He could have sat.
I didn't get a college degree. I'm a beauty school dropout.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You dropped out. But you could have sat there. You could have, even if you didn't get a degree, I could sit there too. You're obviously smart enough. We could have sit and kissed ass in a cubicle. We could have done anything else. So people really need to support Jason. They need to flood him with donations. They need to sign up for Rockfin, because otherwise we keep watching this stuff on YouTube. What's going to happen? They're not going to show it to you. It's not going to get to anybody. We need to support the people that support us. These people have literally put their lives on the line. Calling out the Clintons and the Bushes is not something that's good for their health. So even if you don't have a lot of money, send $5, $10, $15 Jason's way. Say, hey, you know what? I can pay $7, $12 for Netflix. I could go order pizza. No, send Jason Burmis some money.
Listen. Let's stop it here. Hold on.
We're televangelizing. But seriously. And that's why I support. I'm going to say one more thing.
Right.
You got to support Jason. It's the same thing if you like real hip hop or real rock and roll. The artists that didn't sell them souls and they didn't, sign the dotted line and they didn't decide to make trash music. They said, I don't care if I don't make $1 million. I'm going to keep it real. You got to support those people. Support Jason Burmis. Tell him Fake Mike Real News said, I'm over here and I'm sending you money. Jason Burmis, send Jason Burmis money. Share his videos. It's absolutely free to share his videos.
Now listen, let's stop on all that, because I want people to be their own hero. And with the last 5 minutes, I kind of want to go back to what you said about the Capitol and storming it, because I was calling for people to storm their local capitals in a peaceful manner and have sit-ins, Occupy style, before all this happened, to end these lockdowns. And since these lockdowns are still going on and still the madness is going on, I think that a plan needs to be put, because had those people gone there and said, you know what, we're not leaving, we're going to sit here, we're going to go into the halls, and we demand the Supreme Court at least looks at the evidence. The state's not having standing is not a good enough excuse for the people. We need more people to come down here. This is now the Occupy movement. Get here. Let's do this. Let's all stream this. I think it's a very different outcome. You know what I mean? But with the media machine we have, they made literally the Q shaman, a.k.a. the Muffin Man, into a guy who was stopping people from stealing muffins from offices. He is the quote-unquote insurrectionist, and that is the cartoon world in which we live. We got to do it again soon. You give me some times over on Twitter, and I'll definitely be coming on your show. And then I'll also, absolutely, and I'll tape it, and then I'll put it up either as a Rockfin exclusive or something like that as well. I'm going to introduce you to Jaime, because he said we got to get this guy on Rockfin. We're going to get him on. I promise you that.
Consider it done.
Yes, it's going to be great stuff. And why don't you just tell people where they can find your stuff and how they can support you, my brother?
The best way to support me is help me build my YouTube channel up again so we can wake up the normies. I'm FakeMikeRealNews.com, Fake Mike Real News on YouTube, Fake Mike Real News on Instagram, Fake Mike Real News on Facebook, and I'm on Red Pill Hardcore Radio, co-hosting with V every night on RBN, Monday through Fridays, 11 p.m. Eastern to 1 a.m. And I also have OnlyFans, Fake Mike Real News. I will be completely clothed, but I figured, hey, you know what? That's the best place to get unfiltered stuff out. They can let e-thoughts do disgusting things there. I can definitely talk trash about Bill Gates. And I will now be joining Rockfin as well. So
awesome.
Find me on Rockfin by tomorrow, the latest. I'm going to be signing up, but I'm a boomer sometimes, so it'll definitely be by tomorrow.
Well, they actually got to approve you. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to give you the DM. That's another cool thing about this. You can't get all the trolls in there and the people that want to put up pirated content and try to, demonize a bitch shoot or all these other places.
Yeah,
they're very smart. And that's why I'm going to be joining this meeting in a second. Brother, it was awesome having you on. We're going to get you on sooner rather than later. I want to thank you one more time before I leave. And, dude, again, get at me in the DMs. We'll do this soon, all right?
Love you, Jason. Thank you so much. Support Jason Burmis.
Later on, brother. Guys, you know where everything's at. It's down below. I'm going to hit this meeting right now. Again, Rockfin, and a little bit more Rockfin. go full Rockfin, make the free account. If you want to support me, make the premium account and endorse me. You get all the content. That's great. We are going to be doing another part of the Prince Harry Meghan watch along on Oprah exclusively and free at Rockfin later. I love you guys. That was a great interview, and I'll see you on the flip side.